So on this week's episode of Be More Super, the podcast, we've got a great guest. Amy Johnston is a martial artist, actor, and she likes to kick back sides of stars on the screen, which is absolutely amazing to watch. Definitely because it's normally the blokes that she's kicking to the curb, which is great to see. So Amy, thank you so much and welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here, and Happy New Year to you.
You too. You too. Did you have a good Christmas and New Year?
Yeah, I mean, the world's pretty wild right now, but I have taken, I've taken those moments to spend with friends and family when I could and have some good food and good drinks and way too many cookies. So I'm ready to go. I'm feeling good.
It's time to work out
How about
again.
you?
Lose the holiday timber, as they say. And get back to the grindstone. But yeah, I mean, I've got two little girls, so as you can imagine, they've been running around the house high on sugar, and they're still running around the house because it's lockdown. We've got a homeschool.
Yeah.
The kids are at home, which is quite nice actually, to be fair, because we get more time to spend with them and mold them into the perfect individuals that they're going to be when they're older. Fingers crossed. So
that's a lot of pressure.
You know what? It is. And how is everything over there with you in the way of the lockdown? Because it's been crazy at the moment with the US, as we know, with the Capitol building and the pandemic and everything like that. Are you keeping yourself safe?
It's insane. Yeah, I am locked down in my place. Throughout the pandemic, I had been working quite a bit, though, actually. It was a really, really busy year for me last year, traveling a lot, testing like at least 3 times a week with COVID tests. So I stayed really busy, but I'm definitely trying to stay inside as much as possible when I can.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how's work for you? I mean, I know that a lot of SAG members are being told that a lot of things are being put on hold for the near future. I mean, how's everything with you with performing and work?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I'm not quite sure how things are going to work out right now. I'm leaving next week for Hawaii. I have to test a few times before I go there and make sure I test when I get there. And I don't know how they're getting that through right now. It's a SAG production and everything, and they've done all the paperwork. I'm not quite sure. Things are just all up in the air. I have been busy for a long time. I haven't really had many days off throughout this. A lot of productions are trying to do like 2 episodes at once to get things out of the way and just film as much as possible. And then there's the independent films, which are just trying to take advantage and get people for cheap. There's a lot of productions trying to work at least, but I don't know how things are going to be within the next few weeks or so.
Well, fingers crossed, it all gets itself sorted out. I'm just hoping that 2021 is going to end a better year than 2020. But let's talk about your wonderful work, because what you do is amazing. I mean, I got brought up with proper action movies like Jackie Chan, Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. We've got old martial law and all that. So do you know what? I love those because my dad was a karate teacher as well. So
awesome.
an early age, 18 movies. I was allowed to watch at a young age, and I really enjoyed them. I really, really did.
Yes.
So for you, I know your dad, good old David or Dave, was a champion kickboxer. Is that what got you into this industry?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he was a 5-time world kickboxing champion, and he owned a martial arts school in a town called Gillette, Wyoming, and that's where I grew up. And yeah, we, same as you, which I love when people grow up and know like Cynthia Rothrock and watch things like that. Because she was one of my heroes growing up. I grew up on all action films and like 80s action films, Hong Kong cinema, a lot of 90s action films. That was my life. Like I missed out on a lot of actually like award-winning films because I was too busy watching Kung Pao and all these other things, Kung Fu Hustle. So I it was when I saw Michelle Yeoh in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because my life was just filled with martial arts. That's what I had been doing since I was just a child, a baby. Like really, really early on in my life, it was just all martial arts. And so when I saw Michelle Yeoh in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that was a moment where I realized that maybe I could use my martial arts as a career. Because up until then, it's like you can, go to college with a karate degree or a karate scholarship, and you could be an instructor. But I wanted to really like continue learning as a martial artist, continue as an entertainer, because I did a lot of things with like theater and dance and all these things, and it just made so much sense when I saw her. And then Cynthia Rothrock as well really inspired me, because she was this blonde, like, and kicking butt, and these two women really helped inspire me to figure out what exactly I wanted. And that was the moment I moved to LA when I could, after I was 18, and did the whole broke actor performer thing for a long time. But my dad was the catalyst, of course. That is where everything started.
So how did it start for you in the industry? How did you get into performing?
It was terrible. It was like it's really difficult. Yeah, I was very shy. I still am. Like, I'm not good at approaching people, and a lot of this industry is networking, and so you kind of have to go up to people and say like, "Hi, I'm really good at this thing. You should check me out or hire me." And that was never my thing. So I got a regular job at like a spa, and I worked many hours and went to school for a few things and did some extra work when I could, and just learned how to be on set. Took some acting classes, went to a lot of gyms to train and meet people. And then once I started getting kind of like a crew of people that I liked around me, and we all enjoyed teaching each other and creating, and we all loved certain things, we started making online YouTube videos. And so I was working with this company that was created called 1,000 Pounds Action Team, and we started putting together some like anime based or video game based fight scenes, and those did really well on YouTube. And I actually finally started getting work because of those, because the things that I was good at, they were actually being shown and I didn't have to talk about them. So started coming in for auditions from those videos and getting work. And that's really when things started moving for me.
And they often say that getting into acting is very hard, but getting into martial arts, on screen how hard is that compared to getting an acting job? Is it quite difficult?
Yeah. So for me, my whole thing is martial arts. So for me, it's easier to get a martial arts acting role than just an acting role, and that's okay. But acting in general is just insanely hard. The percentage of success is just so low, and then success in the term of like, or when we're speaking about like living off of being an actor is terrible. You have to really have multiple things going on. You have to learn how to write and film and direct and create ways and avenues, and understand your finances and business of being an actor, or else it's just hell, to be honest. But so martial arts roles are easier for me to get than acting roles, because I started having more success in stunts first, and then now people know I can fight. So I just have to use that to keep moving forward.
I mean, have you always wanted to get into action then, or was it just primarily martial arts, or did you want to get, because you do a lot of stunt work, which do you prefer to do most of?
Yeah, I like it all. So I started out with stunts. I always wanted to do acting and stunts at the same time. I just really enjoy that, and I want to do more action comedy. Like, those are just so fun, and I love Jackie Chan like you do, and we need more of that, especially right now. So I'm all about action, anytime, anywhere. However, I really love acting, and I want to explore more things, and I have so many projects I want to do. So it just depends. Like, sometimes I will be acting in a dramatic role and eventually just want to like have a little more action, or vice versa. It's just, I like a nice balance.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is, with the Jackie Chan movies like Meals on Wheels and Police Story, I've got to say, those classic movies were amazing from the start to the finish. And now we're seeing slowly but surely more karate based or martial art based programs like Cobra Kai coming onto Netflix. How do you think it compares to the classics of what's out there now?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, the 80s Hong Kong action cinema and 90s, like how they were filmed and just Hong Kong style in general is my favorite because you can actually see the action. It's more of a wide screen. You're not doing like all of this with the camera, right? There's moments for that, but they usually typically like to see the actors or performers performing. So we get some of that. I think, Cobra Kai is really fun and it has that nice like feel of going back there, but obviously the action isn't like up to par with what it could be because it's not really about that.
Yeah.
But I think there are some people that do action right, or at least how I like it, and it's usually with independent films, like the Scott Adkins films and things like that, where they're really focusing on shooting action. So, and then the Raid films did really good with camera work, and I think I actually think the audience is a little bit tired of CG and wants to feel more of like a grounded, visceral type of impactful martial arts fight these days. I think that's coming more to the surface. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I enjoy real. I don't like CGI. I like to see
Yeah.
because for me, when I see a very good fight scene, for me it's like choreography. It's like a dance. I just think it's beautiful. If it's done properly and obviously the wire work I think's fantastic, and we should never lose that because that's where everything originated from, and now it's all CGI, and you can sort of tell, and it ruins it. It really, really does. Because don't get me wrong, there are people that are working on that CGI that are very talented, but we want our Jackie Chans, we want our stars from even Chuck Norris back to modern films. But how hard is it to film an actual fight scene? Because on your videos on YouTube, some all of them are just absolutely so fast paced, so well filmed. How hard is it to actually film it? Because it's not like just getting two spots on the floor and just telling the actors to go towards those. It's all over the place. How hard is it?
How hard it depends. I mean, like with anything, right? Like if you have somebody that knows what they're doing, like you said, it's a dance. So you want to be good dance partners. You don't want to be stepping over each other or hitting each other in the face. If you both are professionals and you understand what's going on, then it's usually goes really well. But the complications can be all over the place. It can start with the performers, it can start with egos, it can start with safety or rushing on set. It can be from the cameraman not knowing how to film a fight properly. There's so many things that can go wrong. And again, with a lot of things, you kind of have to have everybody on the same page and working together to create what's needed to be done. But so, like, for example, let's say like a big Marvel film, right? You go in for preparation, and as a stunt performer, you might like have months of prep to train the actors, to figure out the fight scenes. You basically get the script of the fight scenes, and you break that down with the stunt team and you figure out the fight beats, and then you film it for what is called a pre-visual, like what the stunt team thinks it should look like and the angles. And then once that's done, we give that to the directors, producers to get their opinion, and we go back and forth. So all that goes on in the pre-production, and on a Marvel film you have a lot of time compared to other things, and there's it's pretty well organized. But then if you go into like some TV shows shoot so quickly these days that you don't have time to rehearse, you don't have time to train the actors, and so you might just go in for a quick stunt, or they might cancel your stunt. You might have to figure out a new fight on the day. Like a lot of it is just all over the place, and you have to be ready for anything. So there's a lot of things to go into, like the difficulties of fight scenes. But if they're good dancers, good fighters, good camera, safety, and then it's just gonna rock.
Yeah. I mean, who's been the your most favorite opponent that you've had to dance with, as they say?
That would be Ketchup from I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a short film called The Gate. It's pretty
Right.
cool. It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. But it's one of the guys from the Raid 2. He does pen shocks a lot. We brought him from Indonesia because he is just like the most incredible, humble martial arts master. And he had a fantastic fight in the Raid 2. And so we brought him over to be in the Gate. And I had a really cool fight with him, and we used karambits, and we did a lot of like fast paced pen shocks a lot, and like he's just the most incredible person, and his timing is wonderful, and he doesn't have an ego. So it was, I would probably say him, but there's been so many incredible performers that I've worked with, some known, some not known.
And is there a performer that you'd like to work with that you haven't yet?
Of course. I mean, Jackie Chan would be cool. Cynthia Rothrock, I haven't worked with her. I mean, Michelle Yeoh, Donnie Yen, I could name so many. And then even just like on a stunt performer level, there's people I would still love to work with. So that was a long, long list.
That is awesome. And talking about Jackie Chan, I remember one of the first videos I ever saw. I must have been a kid, and it was a video of Jackie Chan doing loads of different styles, like the crane, and he had all the weapons, and it was a really old video. It was, I think it was a Betamax. That's how old it was, and but with him, with his martial arts and his films, he gets injured. I mean, he got injured in Rumble in the Bronx, I think it was. I mean, do you get
Yeah.
injured quite a lot in your activities, for filming? Have you ever suffered with a broken leg, a broken arm, or?
Yeah, well, Jackie is on a whole nother level, and the way that they film things is crazy. He just
Mm.
goes for things and he does insane things. So, in the States, we usually use a lot more precaution. He was really wild and did the most incredible stunts. I haven't done that many crazy things. However, I've gotten injured for sure. Kind of comes with the territory. Lots of bruises and sprains and twists and pulls and tears. I tore my ACL maybe like, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago. Lots of like small issues, but no broken legs. I'm not going to do that. I don't like that. Try to stay away from those injuries as much as possible and rehearse and be around the right people, and not take jobs that are, going to injure me.
Mm. And accidents do happen. I actually did a film when I was younger, when I was about 18, and I was one of the principal fighters. And we did a fight scene. It was in a nightclub, so there was a lot of sugar glass being thrown and bottles
Oh, wow.
and everything like that. And we rehearsed the fight, and as the camera panned, the person I was fighting with basically lost where he was, and he ended up punching me straight in the nose. I span round, hit my
Oh.
nose against the bar. I broke my nose. You could see where the break was. Blood was pouring out, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I don't know why. I just the director said cut. We need to sort this out, and I was like, no, it's fine. Keep it. I'm fine. But
Jeez. Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Wait.
I enjoyed it.
Hold on, hold on. So, okay, so you only told me your dad was an instructor. So you do martial arts, and you were on film doing martial arts as well. You got to tell me more
Yes.
about this.
Well, no. So when I was younger, there was a film called Big Game Hunting, it was being filmed for Warner Brothers, and it was like a tester before it got approved to be made. And I did performing arts at university, and I did a stage fight course and everything like that, and I enjoyed it. I really, really did. But yeah, so that was the only thing that I did. And
That's
but
so
yeah,
cool, though. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, except for the
But
nose thing, but
yeah, but to be fair, I didn't really get that much into karate. Even though my dad was an instructor, I grew up with my dad breaking breeze blocks, bricks with his head, and he was in the Guinness Book of Records for karate as well.
wow.
And for me, it was like it would make us all run barefoot for miles. to strengthen our feet. And he actually ran from Nottingham in England to London barefoot, which is about
Wow.
it's about 300 miles. And it was just crazy. My dad was he was ex-military, so he was quite tough. But yeah, I didn't. I'd rather be an actor. And I did a bit of film and TV, but that was it.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm sure that, even your dad's mindset had to have like rubbed off on you. That is probably exhausting, but an incredible mindset to carry with you.
Oh yeah, I mean he had his mate that did the 1-inch punch on me, with yellow pages in front of my chest, and I flew across the mat. I really did. I couldn't breathe.
Dang.
But,
man, and it was truly just.
Yeah, it was a 1-inch punch.
Okay.
And
wow.
And I was only 12 years old. So so you can see why I didn't want to get into it. My dad was like, "Brian, come here. Let him do this on you." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh man.
So when we talk about obviously working in the industry, I saw a wonderful documentary the other night, Stuntwomen, the Untold Story.
Oh yeah.
Which is a wonderful film. It really is, because stunts for me, I'm fascinated with. I mean, I've chatted with Vic Armstrong, Bobby Hanton, and many other stunt people within the industry. In that documentary, they talk about a lot of discrimination against, obviously, women. Do you see that now, being, a martial artist? Do you see that discrimination happening still?
Always. A lot of times I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just something that we've, been dealing with, and how people have, a lot of times it's out of respect, like a man trying to respect a woman and help her out. But, stunt women come in to try to do the same job and get that same respect. So there's definitely that. And yeah, I mean, I deal with it all the time, especially if it's a new job I'll come into. I always have to prove myself a little bit more than the men do, and that's okay, because it always, as long as I continue to do my job properly and I trust myself and I know when to speak up and not overcompensate for being a woman, it always ends up good. So it's about finding that balance. Earlier on in my career, I didn't know how to speak up and make sure what I needed to be said was heard, and I've really been able to find that balance and do my job and not worry about any of the issues I may have. As long as I do my job properly, it always ends up okay. But I have definitely dealt with lots of things from being a woman, and it's okay. It's okay.
It's shocking. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it's come a long ways. The industry's come a long ways. We've had a lot of wonderful women and people in general to really help pave the way, but there are a lot of things that still need to be fixed, and we need to move forward on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that documentary is actually being released today in Japan, in the cinemas, apparently, which is awesome.
Wow, that is awesome. I'm wonderful. That's wonderful. The cinemas are open.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. It just got announced. I think is it Alison? The director posted to say it's been released today. So fingers crossed the cinemas are open. And I've got to say, one of the most touching scenes was when you were sat with Jeannie Epper. And what a character she is. She's absolutely such a battle axe, as they call them. So yeah, she's great. She's such a hero of mine, and to so many women. These women in general were so tough, so inspiring. Same with Julianne Johnson, just the things that she went through, and how she came out on the other side, and she's still like trying to help women not deal with the things of what she dealt with, which is being blacklisted, and that still happens today. These women are so badass. And
yeah, it was truly inspiring to be around them for sure. But I also understand from her point of view, it's like, you work so hard for something, you never want it to end, and they love their job so much that it's you always want to relive those moments and those fun, adrenaline, crazy, amazing moments in stunts. So I understood.
So in your bag, you do a lot of doubling for stars, stunt work, martial arts, and motion capture. With the doubling side, how enjoyable is that? Because it looks absolutely awesome. I mean, Ava, which is an absolutely amazing film with Jessica Chastain, I just think's unbelievable. And you doubled for her in a lot of the scenes.
Yeah, thank you. She did a great job. She came from a dance background, so she picked up things really, really well. Yeah, I did some stunts for her on that film, and there's some things that I wish could have been better with more time, but overall it was pretty good, and I loved, loved, loved working with Jessica. She is truly amazing and total action hero.
I mean, the one of my favorite scenes is when Colin Farrell in in the hotel room, and I think you posted, or there was something that was posted with you being dropped onto a
That
table.
table. Yes, yes, that was a really that was a good one. That was one of those where you definitely lose your breath a little bit. So it was it was an impactful one. It's a little bit of a WWE move there. It was really fun.
SmackDown, yeah. So not
Yeah.
only are you making the stars look good, but you're an author as well. You have brought out a book on how to stunt in Hollywood, um, which you'll be pleased to know I've got mine on order. It arrives on
Thank
Wednesday.
you.
Or
Thank
I
you
would have
so much.
had it here because I just find any book like that fascinating. So, what have I got to look forward to in that book? What does that book cover?
Thank you so much. So I created it because the world doesn't know about stunts as much as I think they should. It's not always about the credit, but I do think there is credit that needs to be, there's much deserved credit towards stunt people. In action films, they are some of the biggest part of the action film themselves. They're creating the action, the angles, and helping everybody get to where they need to be. But the real reason I created it is because these people that I'm around constantly are so inspiring. Like full pieces of insight, and just the way that they live and the way that they look at fear and life and passion. And I wanted to put that all together in a book for people who needed inspiration to break out of whatever they're going through or wanted to get into the industry, because it's really hard to get into the industry. Like I said, it takes a lot of time and networking. And so I wanted to give any little pieces of advice and little nuggets for others trying to get in, and just inspire as many people as possible, show what stunts are more about and the mindset. And so I interviewed several performers and second unit directors and action performers and all these different types of people in the action world. And I put that in a book. So I hope you enjoy it.
I'm sure I will. And I had a joke with the wife the other night saying that after I've read the book, I'm going to try and be a stuntman because I am a parent, and there's lots of Lego all around the house. So I'm used to pain. But then
Yeah.
she laughed at me, to be fair, because I hurt myself, doing the dishes. So I don't think I'd be able to
Oh,
be
wow.
a
Well, maybe are you doing like martial arts dishes, or how are you? What's going
well,
on when you do the
well,
dishes?
yeah, exactly. To be fair, I'm very
Okay.
accident prone. So when we talk
Okay.
about obviously stunts and the fight scene, why do you think there isn't an Oscar for martial arts or the stunt community? Because you've got the Taurus Awards, which are wonderful, but there's no Oscar, and it's so frustrating.
I know. I know. And people have been working, like the stunt community has been working for years trying to get that forward and moving. And even, some top actors have spoken out about that. And I don't know exactly why, but it's time. It's absolutely
Yeah.
time. Thank you for bringing that up. I really don't know why.
Thing is, you look at all the Marvel movies. The percentage of those movies that are filled with stunts. You stunt doubled for Scarlett Johansson in Captain America, and the Soldier, and all of those films are so big at the Oscars or recognition for awards. And I was speaking to Jack Gill, who's a stunt coordinator, and he was saying that apparently they're going to recognize stunts, and they're going to recognize the stunt coordinators. I think there's another name for it that they're going to use, but you're not going to be able to get an award. So they're going to recognize, the achievements, but you will not be able to get an award, which I think is bizarre. I think
What?
you
That's
risk
so
your.
odd. What is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's I forgot what he said now. It's like stunt, not coordinator. It's stunt, like putting the stunts together in. Oh, I don't know. I
Like
can't remember
like
now.
action design maybe. I don't know. I'll have to
Yes,
look that up.
yes,
Okay.
yes. It was
Okay.
like that, and I said to him, it's a bit like being invited to join a golf club, but never being able to play a round of golf. It just doesn't make
Right.
sense. But hopefully, fingers crossed, things will change. So with more leading ladies hitting our screens, do you think it's opening up the possibilities for female performers? Now you've got like the Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, these great leading female parts. Do you think the industry is slowly moving forwards?
Oh, of course. There's definitely way more opportunity for women, which is amazing, and hopefully more women of color, more people of color. Hopefully, we just keep moving forward in all these great directions. But also, I want to see more openings for women who can really do those things, like that are believable. I'm not saying these actors aren't, but like I would like to see performers who really get the time to train in action or martial arts and really feel in their body to perform these things, because that will elevate it even more. Or just hiring a lot of stunt people are incredible actors. There's a lot of actors who do martial arts. So I think it's now time to elevate that aspect as well.
Yeah, definitely. And what's the lifespan of a martial artist? Because like with dancers, your joints go over time, and what's the lifespan? I know Jackie Chan is probably, is he about 60 now? And he's still going strong. But what's realistically for you? Where do you see yourself stopping doing martial arts? And when you do, what would you like to do?
I'm never gonna stop. It's such a big part of my life, and it's how I like relieve stress. It's how I get rid of my anxiety and like really center myself and figure out life. Like it's just an expression. So I'll never ever quit doing martial arts. But as far as like stunts and things like that in film, I don't take many stunt jobs anymore. I try to do more acting. So, the older I get, I kind of like don't do the more difficult stunts to try to maintain my body. But I still love it. So I'm gonna keep going until I decide I don't want to anymore. But speaking with some of those ladies in the Stuntwomen documentary, like they just went for so long. They just kept doing stunts and doing all these crazy things. So that was also inspiring. Maybe I'll be much older and still do stunts because I like it so much. I don't know.
Yeah, one of the scenes I loved is with Jeannie Epper, where they used them all in the bus, and I thought that was fantastic. It was really nice,
Yeah.
nice to see. But seeing those older ladies, if I didn't know who they were, you would never imagine them being stunt women. They look like they would get together for some crochet or
Yeah.
a book club, and it's fantastic to see that back when Wonder Woman was on with Linda Carter, she was jumping through windows, and I just think it's fantastic. So obviously you've brought out your book. Is there any plans for any more books or any more things that are coming out?
Yeah, of course. I always have a lot of things that I'm creating, but nothing that has coming out right now. Soon though, I have some shows I'm creating and some content, but nothing that is like confirmed right now. And some films, like everything's just always in the frying pan.
Yeah, yeah. But your
Yeah.
YouTube is fantastic source to find some amazing videos like "This Is the Way" that you did for the
Oh, thank you.
Mandalorian. I thought that was awesome, and then the
Oh,
cameo at the
good.
end from the stuntman that actually plays the Mandalorian. I
Yeah.
forgot his name now. Is it Brendan
Yes,
Wayne?
Brendan Wayne. Yeah, he's the
Yeah,
body for most of the show. He's always in the suit,
yeah.
so we thought it was a cool little thing to get him. Yeah.
But that was so well done. I thought it was awesome.
Thank you.
That's really nice to see. So before we end this wonderful interview, people can follow you on Twitter and Instagram. I've got the links just below your face, just there. So it's Amy E Johnston, and that's both on Twitter and Instagram. So thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you. I'm looking forward to everything that you do in the future, and I'm looking forward to the book, to get some peace and quiet, sit down, and have a good read.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for having me on. It's been wonderful talking to a fellow martial artist, by the way.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
yes. Do you know what? They definitely
Yes.
should bring back the classics. Honestly, the classics. It's just fantastic. Who was the guy that was with Jackie Chan? Sammy. Is it Sammy Hung?
Sammo Hung. Sammo Hung.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. He was
Amazing.
fantastic
He was,
with him, and he's still going now. So, which is awesome.
yeah.
Which is really
Yeah, he's
nice to
great.
see. So,
Yeah, I
yeah, we
agree.
need we need
Lots
we
of,
need more Claude Van Dammes, and we need more Scott Atkins. And you know
I'm
what
working. Yes.
the thing is for me, it's quite disappointing that the majority is all straight to video or straight to on
I,
demand. And
yeah,
it needs to be in the theatre. It needs to be showcased, because the amount of work that gets put into these fight scenes and these films, I just think are astonishing. And
I
yeah, we
know.
need to see
I
more.
agree.
We need to see more.
I think so too. I'm working on it. I'm really working on it. I think it's time for that to be on the big screen when our theaters are open, or maybe we'll have to put them in Japan. But
Mm,
that's definitely a big goal of mine. More ode to
yeah,
those types of films and more action comedy. So it's on
no,
the
that is
list. It'll get
awesome.
done.
Excellent. Amy, thank you so much. You look after yourself. Stay safe, and all the best. And I hope your trip to Hawaii is nice and
Thank
fruitful.
you.